Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So welcome to my first video. What I'm going to be doing for my first video is a reading of the history of Resident Evil as found in the files section from Resident Evil 5. So this covers the events of the in-game universe from the 1960s through to the events of Resident Evil 4 in 2005. But seeing as Resident Evil 5 was made 12 years ago now, there are some events missing from later games set in between these years, such as the events of Resident Evil Revelations, for example. I'm a really big fan of the Resident Evil series, and the lore and backstory of those games are one of my favourites of any game series, if not my absolute favourite. So I hope you do enjoy the video. If you do and you want me to keep making more, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to my channel as well. So with all that said, let's dive into the video. 1960s. Engineer Michael Warren begins the electrification of Raccoon City. The fifth head of the Ashford family, Edward Ashford, begins his research into what would later become known as the progenitor virus. 1962. Oswell E. Spencer enlists architect George Trevor to design and construct a reclusive mansion on the outskirts of Raccoon City. December 1966. Oswell E. Spencer, James Marcus and Edward Ashford officially established the progenitor virus, which reconstitutes a living organism's DNA. November 1967. The construction of the mansion and lab facilities in the Arklay Mountains is completed. Jessica and Lisa Trevor are injected with a variant of the progenitor virus. The virus fails to establish itself in Jessica, and she is subsequently disposed of. The virus shows promise in Lisa, and as a result, she is placed under close observation. George Trevor is chosen to be a test subject. However, due to his intimate knowledge of the mansion facility, he is disposed of instead. 1968. Construction of Raccoon City's public transit trolleys begins in Europe, and they are quickly put into use within the city. Spencer founds the pharmaceutical company Umbrella with Marcus and Edward Ashford. The company is established to mask their biological research. July. Edward Ashford contracts the progenitor virus and dies. His son, Alexander Ashford, succeeds him as head of the Ashford family. August. The Umbrella training facility is established in the Arklay Mountains with Marcus appointed as director. February 1969. Alexander Ashford begins to design a facility in Antarctica. He secretly makes plans to build an underground laboratory for the purpose of the Code Veronica project. November. Umbrella's Antarctic base and research facilities are completed. 1971. The Code Veronica project is successful. The twins Alfred and Alexia Ashford are born. 1977. Albert Wesker and William Birkin join the training facility as prospective managers. January 1978. Marcus successfully develops the T-virus. July. The closure of the training facility is finalised. Wesker and Birkin transfer their T-virus research to the Arklay research facility. Marcus continues his own research in the closed-down training facility. July 1981. Although only 10 years old, Alexia Ashford graduates at the top of her class from a prestigious university. Birkin begins to view Alexia as a rival. 1982. Alexia injects her father, Alexander, with the T. Veronica virus, but the experiment ends in failure. December 1983. Wesker researches secondary exposure to the T virus. He begins to have reservations about Spencer's plans. Alexia injects herself with the T Veronica virus and enters a 15-year cryogenic sleep. To maintain the secrecy of this plan, it is reported that she died of accidental exposure to the virus. 1987. Michael Warren becomes mayor of Raccoon City. 1988. Wesker, under orders from Spencer, assassinates Marcus. Under Birkin's guidance, the T-Virus program begins development of the BOW Tyrant. Umbrella begins work on the Nemesis project at its 6th European research facility. 1991. Umbrella begins construction of an expansive underground laboratory beneath Raccoon City. Spencer approves Birkin's G-Virus project and work begins on it. Wesker is transferred to the Information Department. 1992. Umbrella contributes funds for the refurbishment of City Hall and the building of the General Hospital. A statue of Michael Warren is erected in City Hall. 1993. Raccoon City Police Chief Brian Irons begins conducting negotiations with Umbrella. Birkin transfers to the underground lab in Raccoon City. Clandestine meetings with Irons begin. Alfred Ashford graduates from a university in England and becomes director of the Antarctic facility. He rises up the ranks to eventually become an executive of Umbrella and then director of Rockford Island. December. A training facility for anti-BOW squad members is completed. 1994. John from the Chicago lab takes over for Birkin at the Arclay research facility. Alfred builds a private mansion and prison on Rockford Island. 1996. Raccoon City Police Department's STARS team is founded with Wesker as captain. Hunk, or Human Unit Never Killed, later of the Umbrella Special Forces, undergoes combat training at Rockford Island. May 1998. A mysterious clone of Marcus's appears at the Umbrella training facility. There is a large-scale viral leak at the Arclay mansion. The research lab there is destroyed. Cerberus claims its first victim, a 20-year-old woman whose body is found dismembered. June. Cerberus sightings are reported in a local Raccoon City magazine. July. 2 groups are sent to investigate the training facility. The first one is wiped out by BOWs located on the premises. There is an increase in reports of accidents and missing persons in the Arclay Mountains. The city sends the STARS Bravo team to investigate. Bravo team's helicopter experiences engine trouble for unknown reasons and is forced to put down in the Arclay Mountains. Bravo team takes the Ecliptic Express to investigate the training facility, which is later destroyed. Alpha team is sent out to search for Bravo team when communication is lost. The occurrence of the mansion incident. Bravo team leader Enrico Marini learns Wesker's true identity. Wesker murders Enrico. Ravaged by the virus, the mansion and the lab are destroyed. 4 members of Alpha team and 1 member of Bravo team escape the catastrophe. The survivors are Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, Barry Burton, Brad Vickers, and Rebecca Chambers. Wesker escapes the Arclay research facility before it is destroyed. August. Former STARS member Chris Redfield learns of the G-Virus and heads to Europe to investigate Umbrella. September. The virus spreads throughout Raccoon City via infected mice. The city is declared a biohazard as incidents of cannibalism continue to rise. Birkin completes work on the G virus. A zombie horde attacks the city's police station. The police station is destroyed and Chief Irons descends into mania. Warren escapes the city but leaves his daughter behind. UBCS, or Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasures Service, arrives in the city to begin rescue operations. Rookie police officer Leon S. Kennedy arrives in the city at the same time as Claire Redfield. Umbrella deploys the BOW Nemesis T-Type into the city, and it begins its hunt for former STARS member Jill Valentine. Umbrella deploys mass-produced tyrants into the city. Leon and Claire escape the city with William and Annette Birkin's daughter Sherry. With the arrival of the US military, the city is placed under martial law. UBCS survivors are exploited by Umbrella's official observer of the situation, Nikolai Jinovev, and they die off one by one. The hospital is destroyed. Ada Wong and Hunk each acquire samples of the G virus. The underground lab in Raccoon City is destroyed. October. The US government decides to eliminate the virus threat by destroying Raccoon City with a missile strike. December. Claire infiltrates the Paris laboratory only to be captured and imprisoned on Rockfort Island. Wesker attacks the island with his own private force and releases the T-virus onto the island. Claire escapes from the prison and sends an email to Leon asking for help. Her location is made known to Chris. Jill escapes Raccoon City and goes to Chris's apartment, but he has already left for Rockfort Island. Alfred Ashford escapes the island. Chris arrives at Rockfort Island and finds Wesker. Alexia Ashford wakes up from her cryogenic sleep at the Antarctic base. Alfred dies shortly after. Claire and Chris are reunited at the Antarctic base, and together they defeat Alexia. They escape before the base is destroyed. 2002. Jack Krauser fakes his own death and joins Wesker's secret organisation. February 2003. Chris and Jill take part in the mission to destroy the Umbrella Caucasus research facility in Russia. They were successful in destroying a new BOW known as Talos. 2004. The US President's daughter, Ashley Graham, is kidnapped by the religious group known as the Los Illuminados. The actual kidnapping was carried out by Krauser. Leon Kennedy was scheduled to join Ashley's Secret Service detail, but is ordered to find her instead. Leon Kennedy is injected with the Las Plagas parasite by the Los Illuminados. After that, he and Ashley, who is also infected with the same parasite, take shelter in a church. After escaping the village, Leon and Ashley are forced to seek refuge in an old castle, but Ashley is once again apprehended. This time she is taken to an isolated island by Krauser under the orders of Ramon Salazar, the 8th head of the Salazar family. Leon confronts Salazar and defeats him. Leon heads to the island to find Ashley, and it is there that he defeats both Jack Krauser and Osmond Sadler, the leader of the Los Illuminados cult. Leon and Ashley use the facility on the island to remove the parasites. Ada Wong steals the Las Plagas parasite sample from Leon. Leon and Ashley escape from the island by jet ski. So I really do hope you enjoyed my reading from the history of Resident Evil from the RE5 files. And while Resident Evil is one of my most favourite media franchises, there are lots more that I plan on making videos about too, such as Dead Space, AVP, Jurassic Park and more. So thank you ever so much for checking my video out, and I will hopefully see you next time. Thanks for watching.